our default banana and see what we get out of it. Okay, so you saw that was a really fast response right there. And here we have our default banana. Hi there, this is Shamanic from Shamanic Arts, and today I'm super excited to introduce you to my new Fou AI component for Touchdesigner. Fou AI is a platform, an API that lets you run open source AI models at lightning fast inference. They have a bunch of different models available, and they even have a real-time API, which I will be supporting soon. This component currently does not support real-time inference, but I will be supporting that very soon. Either way, here you can see they've got SDXL Lightning running on their real-time inference. It says inference time 0.148 seconds, and it really is that fast. You can see here we can type wizard on a shining moon over Jupiter. And yep, you can see it's inferencing really quickly. That's at 2 steps on SDXL Lightning. So that is Fou AI, and we'll get a little bit more into their platform in a second. If you're interested in this component, you can download it at my Patreon. It's a free component. It is Windows only currently, but I am actively working on supporting it on Mac. I built this component thanks to the help of the wonderful creator Dot Simulate, using some of Dot Simulate's tools. If you haven't heard of Dot Simulate, do go check him out. He's the creator of Comfy TD, as well as a bunch of other amazing Touchdesigner tools. Without further ado, let me run you through setting up the Fou AI component. So when you get the Fou AI component, you won't have a base folder or a Python executable. So we're going to delete those. We're also going to delete this and this because we won't need them. Okay. So you will need to have Python 3.11 installed on your system. It doesn't matter what version of Python 3.11 installed, but you will need Python 3.11 to install this component. If you're wondering where you can get Python 3.11, you can download it on the python.org download releases. So right here, you can download your Python 3.11. This is 3.11.0. You can download any version of Python 3.11, as far as I understand. We're going to set the Python executable. If you've got Python installed, you just need to press that button. It will find the Python install. If it doesn't find the Python install, you can set that manually by clicking here and navigating to your Python 3.11 install folder. So with that out of the way, the next thing we are going to do is create our virtual environment. So I previously had a Fou AI environment installed. I'm going to create a new folder to demonstrate this one. So test env. So great, we've now set our virtual environment and pulse that, and that should, there we go. Once that's set to whatever path it was set, probably downloads or wherever you're running your Touchdesigner project from, then that is complete. Okay, with those 2 steps out of the way, our next step is to pulse this button here, setup 1, and we're going to follow the instructions. And once we finish those instructions, we're going to pulse setup 2. So pulse setup 1, and you can see it pops up and it starts installing all the dependencies that it needs. We have a little instruction here saying, once command prompt is finished installing, please pulse setup 2. There we go. And have some error checking in there. If we didn't have our Python executable set or our base folder set, it would tell you to set those first. It's always nice. Anyway, we'll leave this for a moment. Okay, and that is done. The setup is complete. We can close this command window. And now we just pulse setup to, and it says installation complete. Have fun. Great. So our component is now installed. Now we can go to settings. And in settings, we can set our image path and our API key. Image path is actually a media path. I might change the name of this in the future, but for now, it's called image path. But it is the media path for all outputs that we have from FAL. So let's create a new folder again. And let's call this one FAL outputs. And we'll set it to that. And we're going to enter our API key here. Now, if you haven't made an API key before, we'll run you through that. So we're going to click on login on FAL, and it's going to take us to this dashboard. Yours won't have any active apps. It will ask you to sign in with your GitHub, and it will take you to this dashboard. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to keys, and we're going to add a key. I'm going to create a key for this tutorial. I'll delete it afterwards. So let's call this tutorial key. So once we've created that key, we're going to copy this, and you want to save it somewhere. So actually, you can just click copy key. You're going to want to save it somewhere secure. You will not be able to see this again. You can only see the beginning of it. There's no way of seeing it again. So you're going to want to save that key somewhere, probably somewhere else other than just the component. But now we paste our API key there. And we are now ready to run inference on our Fou AI component. However, there's a couple of other things I should run through. We already have a ton of models from the Fou AI model gallery imported into our Touchdesigner project. We have stable video diffusion with LCM. We've got stable diffusion SDXL Lightning. We have creative upscalers, turbo diffusion. We have playground. We have Whisper, which generates speech to text. And this is actually the fastest Whisper available currently. So that's very exciting. We have Meta Voice that does TTS. We also have XTTS. And we have TripOSR, which will allow us to do image to 3D. So there's a lot of different models and potentials that we can run here. It's very exciting. However, say Fou releases a new model, or you want to update an endpoint, you can do that here with the endpoint link. So let me demonstrate that. So let's go to the model gallery. And as you can see here, we have a ton of different models available on Fou, various different kinds of models. And let us update. We already have this in here. We already know it works, but just to demonstrate, this is how you update an endpoint in the Fou AI component. You just copy this endpoint here, and we go to our Touchdesigner component, and we paste that here, and we pulse. And you will see that it's successfully fetched the model spec for fast Lightning SDXL, and our model table has been updated. So now, if we were to load this image in here, we already have it loaded, so we won't see too much. It will create all the parameters we need, and we have access to the model there. There are some caveats, so I'll just run through those quickly for you. Some models, such as Midas depth estimation. Yes. So Midas depth estimation is actually part of the image utils app. So when you see a path like this where it says Fou AI / image utils / depth, the only bit of the path that we need is this bit here. Everything else will be imported from importing that one there. So if we were to, I'm not going to do it right now, but if we were to import it just like this, it would import endpoints, but they would be malformed and you wouldn't be able to make any predictions. So it's really important when you have a path that has Fou AI and then it has something, Anything after that, we just need to delete. So the correct thing to import is Fou AI image utils, and we'll post that, and it's successfully fetched the spec. And if we look here, we have all of the image utils. So we have depth, we have the Marigold depth, we've also got RemBG, remove background, we've also got ESRGAN, SAM, NSFW checker, and Midas depth. So that's just one thing to bear in mind when importing and updating models. You just need the first two arguments from that address. All that being said, let's run through some inference. So as you can see, when we imported fast SDXL Lightning image to image, we created a bunch of parameters. We have that listed here in our text port. Here on main is where we can access those parameters. So we've got pulse and keep generating. These are static parameters that they're there for every model. We have prompt, number of images, image size, format, embeddings, expand prompt, image URL, strength, sync mode, enable safety checker, number of inference steps, and seed. These parameters will change depending on the models that you have imported, but essentially you will always get that. Image URL is an important one. We've got some special functionality around image URL. You can paste in a website. Here, for example, is an example image of an elephant. If you paste a website URL, we'll type in Paisley psychedelic patterns, and we will turn on expand prompt, just because, and we pulse that. It's going to make a prediction to the API, and you can see that it has sent the image URL, it's sent the website, and we got a successful response back, and that looks like quite a nice usable image, actually. We have our psychedelic elephant. We can also put operator paths there. So we now have a Paisley psychedelic pattern banana, it should give us. And there you can see it's sent a base64 string, and it's returned back a not so usable, but a usable Paisley psychedelic pattern banana. And there's a misspelling there, so I'll fix that. And finally, we can also import a file. Yes, there we go. We've now got our file path. And if we paste that file path, we'll also be sending a base64 encoded string. And there's what it's returned. So you can send in a website URL, a file path, or an operator reference. And all three of those will work. And as you saw, that inference was lightning fast. Let's bring the strength down to 0.5, and we have our image returned. So you can see that's lightning fast, how quickly it returns that inference. So that is our basic run through. Oh, I should cover as well that when you sign in to Fou AI, you will be able to make predictions immediately. Obviously, you do need to pay for the API. However, Fou will give you $10 off the bat. So you've got $10 to play around with. I haven't topped up my account yet. I've built the entire component and tested that component, all using the $10 that Fou AI credited my account from the beginning. You can run a lot of inference. Let me demonstrate actually how much inference you can run. We'll make a prediction here on their website, so in the playground. And so there's our prediction. And you can see that that request took 0.37 seconds. It cost us fractions of a cent. So for $1, we could run this same model 2,454 times. So there's a lot of potential. You can make a lot of images just off of the $10 that they give you for free. If you are broke and you want to start generating AI images from within Touchdesigner or making AI predictions, this is a fantastic way to go. Now that we've run through that, let me demonstrate a couple of other different models and use cases. So let's go to import. We can obviously generate video, fast animate diff turbo, text to video. We will pulse that. We'll generate square with 4 inference steps. Motions, this is a parameter you're going to have to grab off of the website or make a text document. Touchdesigner wizard scrying artificial images from the ether. So we'll see what it gives us for that. And yep, there we go. We got our prediction back. So this is a Touchdesigner wizard scrying artificial images from the ether. Obviously, some are more usable than others, depending on like the use case or what you want from it. But as with all of these, you can see how quickly Val returns these outputs. So these are usable in installations. These are usable in your projects because you can get lightning fast responses. Obviously, those are image and video. We also can generate text. We can generate audio. And most excitingly, we can generate 3D from images. So text, we can use the Whisper API to generate text, or we can use Lava. I think it'll be easier for my demonstration purposes to just use Lava. Lava is a vision model. It can look at images that it's given and classify it. What is in this image? It'll make its prediction. And interestingly enough, it seems like in my versioning, I may have broken something. So I'll make sure to have that fixed. But it did give our prediction. It said the image features a ripe banana with a brown spot on it sitting on a black background. That's because it can't see transparency. Let's actually use Whisper instead. We're telling it the language is English, and we're using version 3 of Whisper. And there we go. Complaining about artificial intelligence. Do they really have intelligence? That's irrelevant. It's okay. They'll be in robot bodies. I want to see if it's on the screen probably now. Cool. So we got our text response back. We also could try with something like XTTS, and that could be fun. So we have XTTS here. What we could do is drop this in and add a .text. So now we're sending that text in. XTTS expects an audio O.
Complaining about artificial intelligence. Do they really have intelligence? That's irrelevant. It's okay. They'll be in robot bodies. I want to see it on the screen probably now.
Finally, I think the most fun and interesting one is TripOSR. TripOSR, it generates image to 3D. So specifically for it to work in Touchdesigner, we want to set it to OBJ. Otherwise, we can keep everything the same. We'll provide it with our default banana and see what we get out of it. Okay, so you saw that was a really fast response right there. And here we have our default banana in a SOP operator. So from here, we can do whatever we would want to do with a SOP. That is the Fou AI component. If you like this component and you want to use it in your projects, you can get it on my Patreon, which is available in the description down below. It's a free component. However, if you do like my work and you do want to support me, you can join up on one of the paid tiers. I have an active and growing Discord community of like minded creatives and freaks. And again, massive thank you to Dot Simulate, whose help has been invaluable in creating this component. Happy tinkering, everybody. This is Shamanic from Shamanic Arts, signing out. Peace.